Afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and boys and girls of all ages. I am Aaron, aka the Handy Outdoor Nerd, and this sexy gentleman over here to my left is.
I'm Chris, aka MrCarrellScience. How everybody doing tonight?
So we are glad for you guys to join us tonight for this episode of the AC Show. We're going to talk a little bit on what it takes to be a maker and what our opinions on that makes a maker. What did you knock down?
So I got this light, and I was like, I'm gonna put this light on because it's gonna. I was like,
illuminate. It's gonna illuminate him.
Hey, that's better. Now you can see. Now you can see my gorgeous eyes. There you go. Oh,
all right. Oh. All right.
Sorry.
All right. So, in your opinion, what does it take to be a maker? What is a maker?
Ooh, to me, someone who's a maker is someone who is not afraid to try to do something on their own. I mean, personally, my family's really big on self-reliance. We don't like to have to call somebody to come and do something for us. But at the same time, we're really big on emergency preparedness, food storage, making sure that if there ever was some sort of a disaster that we'd be covered for at least a little while. And so it's been one of my goals ever since I was, little, to have a year's supply of food in my house. I'm not anywhere near that, but it's something that I've been going for. But one of the things that I do that I feel like is necessary to be prepared for an emergency is knowing how to fix your own stuff. I mean, I have saved thousands and thousands of dollars since I married my wife, just because we were able to fix our own stuff. And so for me, someone who's a maker is someone who sees something that they would like to have and isn't afraid to try to do it on their own, regardless of whether or not you can afford to buy something. It's a joy and a pleasure to try to make something that otherwise you'd have to spend money on.
Oh no, I wholeheartedly agree. And just because you don't have the tools to make, let's say woodworking, just because you don't have all the woodworking tools doesn't mean that you can't be a maker. So go out there, you can check out Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. You can find that garage sales used items. But just build up your stuff slowly. But I mean, I don't have a bunch of the tools that other people have out there, but yet I do woodworking still. The one tool that I actually spent money on, which was still at Harbor Freight, is my compound miter saw. Is the only thing I actually spent a lot of money on.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was gonna say this. If you don't have the tools that you need to do something, and you're not sure if you want to buy that tool or whatever, I mean, go to Harbor Freight, see what you can find. Because while Harbor Freight tools are definitely not the best tools in the world, they will get you by for a little while. I've had a Harbor Freight compound miter saw for years, and my saw broke like 2 years ago, and I went to Harbor Freight and bought another one because I'm like, it works just fine for my purposes. It works well enough for what I do.
Yep.
And I do a lot of really cool like finish work and stuff.
Yeah, and I got a Harbor Freight router as well, and it works. It does what it needs to do.
Chicago Electric.
Yes, Chicago Electric. I also have a small, it's about that long, Chicago Electric Dremel.
And another thing is, so I don't know if people know this. So I used to work at a Home Depot, and so I I used to be really good friends with all the reps and stuff that would come in and do all the displays or whatever. And a lot of the big name tool companies are owned by the same company. So there's tools like Ryobi, Rigid, and Milwaukee are all owned by the same company. So if you buy one of those tools, they all have very similar life expectancy, power ratings, everything like that, because they're all owned by the same company. They're basically the same tool, just with a different colored shell on it. And so one thing that I recommend is looking at like Black & Decker tools. Black & Decker tools to me are the worst tools, absolutely. But I call them kind of disposable tools because you can go buy you can go buy a sander for 20 bucks. You can go buy a jigsaw for 20 bucks, you know? And if it doesn't work well or you don't like it very much or you know, you're not in for $100 for a nice jigsaw, you know, when it's not something that you're going to enjoy or like to do. So, I mean, definitely acceptable.
Oh yeah, and here's another one for all of you guys, excluding this guy over here. Aldi. Aldi.
Oh, Aldi.
Aldi's has their own brand. It's called Work Zone. I have a jigsaw from them. I have a drill from them. I've got a light surge protector thing that they actually tilt on both ends, opposites, and it holds tools down in front of it. Let's see. So I've got several Work Zone things. I've got a Work Zone tool cabinet.
You know, and I'll say Ryobi stuff at Home Depot, super good quality. Because like I say, it's made by Milwaukee and Rigid, same company. And I have Ryobi tools that are 15 years old that still work, electric tools that still work. They're awesome. And I only buy Ryobi stuff. They've got, one battery that fits like 150 different tools. It's crazy.
Yep. So, yeah.
You can buy a drill and an impact driver, a battery and a charger for like 80 bucks.
So yeah, there's multiple options you can go out there to do that, but you do not need the most fancy tools out there to get the job done.
Yeah, sure.
Don't listen to all this advertisement you see on TV and that you see on social media on going to buy all these tools that you can make something look like this. See, those people that make the things look like that, they only are able to do that because they have practiced, they have done so, and they have learned how to do that. They might be using top of the line tools, but that does not mean you're going to get top of the line quality. Hey, Eddie.
What's up, Eddie?
Guess what, Eddie? I got an old friend of yours here.
Do you have the decal on there?
I don't have the decal on. Although I did put this little humdinger on here.
You know what that is? Maker Geeks owl?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had this sticker, so I did that. Actually, that reminds me, I will pull up my Fusion 360.
So it was really funny. Couple days ago. So my wife is making some Valentines for my son's kindergarten class. I'll show off what she's making in Cool Prints in a little while, but she was looking at ordering me some filament, some different colored filament and stuff, and she's like, I know Chris has a lot of Maker Geek stuff. She's like Googling Maker Geeks, MakerGeeks.com, and she's like, what happened? I can't find the website anywhere. And I was like, Andrea, they went out of business like over a year ago.
Yeah, they went out last year.
What? She's like, what? Are you serious? And I was like, well, they rebranded themselves as Filament Geeks for a while. You can try that, I guess. And so she's like, I can't find anything.
No, you won't find anything. Yeah. They just kind of imploded and like I heard nothing.
I still got my mouse pad.
See, I wanted to get the mouse pad and I never did.
Oh man, if I had two, I'd send you one, but I only got the one. It's currently the only mouse pad I own.
All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. Eddie, are you ready for this, Eddie?
You know, I can take a picture of my mouse pad, and I can get one printed at Walmart.
This is true.
You know, they have the photo mouse pads.
All right.
Reception.
This is the logo that I'm going to be printing out, not tonight, but that I'm going to be putting on the printer. This is its nickname now. It is called the M-Bot. That is what I am naming it.
I love it. MrCarrellScience 3000.
So yeah, Eddie was my inspiration for calling it M-Bot. I was actually going to call it the MrCarrellScience 3000, and then my brain was like M-Bot, and then it went to Brandon Sanderson's Skyward book. The ship in that, it's called M-Bot 1021 is the ship. So MrCarrellScience, because in the book you don't know what M-Bot stands for, so to me, M-Bot's going to stand for MrCarrellScience now.
Dude, so. I can get Walmart to make a photo mouse pad for like $8.
It's not bad at all.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take a picture of this mouse pad and send it to you. Hey, do you have a Walmart probably, right?
Close by.
They have a photo center?
Yeah.
I could send it to your Walmart. Then you could just go pick it up. I wouldn't even have to mail it. It would be made right there by your house.
There you go.
This is a genius idea, man.
That works.
Well, I got a better idea though. I just came up with something even better. All right. Anyways.
So. All right. So we are going to move on. Because I just kind of wanted to touch on that. I had seen something on a Facebook group, and I should have taken a picture of it because whoever posted it deleted it off, so I couldn't show what the thing was saying, and it made me think of what it takes to be a maker. So now we're going to switch to Cool Prints. We're just going to show what we have right now. I don't think we're going to really show anything else on that, unless Chris has some pictures he wants to show online of Cool Prints.
You know, I've been so busy. I got a robotics competition coming up. We're going to the state championship. My robotics team's going to the state championship a week from Saturday. And so I've been so busy with that. I've printed a bunch of stuff, but last week I showed you guys the llama coins that I have been printing, and I think I've printed about 250 more llama coins, and that's the only other thing that I printed besides llama coins is in my hands right now. I'm gonna show it off in Cool Prints. So. You raising that bed?
I am.
Yeah, that's pretty, man. Look at that. It's working. Eddie, how could you ever part with something so beautiful, man? What is going on?
Well, he didn't have the time to fix it. I can't blame him on that. Like, it took me a couple weeks to get it all done because I just kept printing the pieces that I need little bit by little bit for the Core XY gantry part. But
it's looking pretty nice, man. You gonna put some acrylic on the sides for an enclosure?
See that falling back down? That's because I've got that extra metal on there. It weighs it down. It just falls.
Oh, so it just fell. It wasn't like yeah. I gotcha.
Now I got to raise the end stop part back up. Go down.
Oh, he's got rail cores, Artemises, and X1Ss. You know, I've got an Ender 3, and I've got an ANET A8, so that gives me plenty of work.
Yep.
And then I've got this model price giving me fits. I finally found a website that I can order replacement boards. Aaron's convinced me that I should fix my model price instead of
Junking it?
just throwing it away and getting a new one. So
See,
I'd like to know Eddie and Wellbot's opinion on this. So I've got this printer. It cost me $120. I bought it refurbished, and I'm pretty sure that the main board's gone out, the heater cartridge has gone out, the thermistors have both gone out, and I'm just like, by the time I order all this stuff, I could have just bought another one of these printers, or I could have tried to get something different. And I said, Aaron, I think I'm just going to throw it away and order something different. And he's like, no, you can't throw it away. You got to fix it. It breaks my heart as a maker. I can't see it. So I want to know. Oh, I just see Eddie's response right here. Throw it away, buy an X1. Can I get an X1 for $120? You got one of those super awesome Eddie Moser discount codes? I use Eddie. I use Eddie's discount code anywhere that I possibly can. He's always like, "Oh, hey, I got a discount code for you. Here you go." I'd throw it away and buy an X1 if I could get it for $120. I need something small that has a small footprint that I can fit on my counter and not take up too much space. My wife is only allowing me to keep the ender here because the other one's busted. Anyways, you gonna show off some cool prints, or are you just showing off how your printer actually raises?
Well, I'm not showing off. I'm trying to get it so I can level the bed.
That's a pretty beefy looking Z screw right there, man.
I know. All right, so I'm gonna let that fall back down. Try not to run over my microphone cord. That won't do me good. All right, so I got a guy at work that asked me if I would print him a miniature. So I said, yeah, I think I can do that. My ANET's not up and going right now, and I don't have my key detect. So I was like, yeah, I'll get it loaded for the key detect and get it printing. So here is the mini that I printed for the guy. The tusks did not actually print, even though I told it to put the supports on there. It did not print them. You can kind of see the issue I'm having with the actual. See all the blobs and the little spaces.
What kind of cooling does it have here? Your key detect.
So I modified and printed a new cooling duct for it. And because it was only like one directional part, and I actually had, so I printed it so there was like this. Because the original part, the one that I got, it was kind of like this. And what I did is I shortened this one down so it's blown from two sides. There's a different one that I want to print and put on it. That does, it's pretty much like the one that I have on my ANET.
Oh yeah, the spaceship one or whatever.
Yeah. So that's the one I need to.
This is how good friends Aaron and I are. We live in two different states that are like thousands of miles apart, and I know what kind of fan duct he has on his ANET A8. That's how good of friends we are. Yeah, Eddie says that company went out of business because they wanted too much for too little.
Which company?
Your
maker?
The one that made your amalgamation there.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Mm.
All right, there we go. Let's try that. So I I slapped on a, how thick's that? Some stainless steel eddy. I'll show you what it looks like. You see the stainless steel that I slapped on underneath here, because this side was being bent down and I couldn't level it. So
You can see the gap. I didn't notice it before, but now that you put the camera right there at that angle,
yeah,
you can see the gap on that one side.
yeah. So I've bent it up still. So I've got a shim of paper under there lifting that side up to where it needs to be. But yeah, that's part of the problem. So I'll need to get that completely replaced.
See, that's one of the issues that I have on my robos at the school too, is that plate right there is bent. It's like curved and bent. It's like totally bent. And so it makes it impossible to level, because there's no leveling screws on it even. So you can't even level the corners. It's just magnets. And so it's like you can raise and lower the nozzle height. That's the only thing you can do. You can't change individual corners or anything. And so it's impossible to level. There's no such thing as leveling the bed. It's actually kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Eddie's saying he's not a fan of the way of that way of doing those beds. I totally agree. I can't stand Core XY. What's the Core XY way of doing it? I thought that was Core XY. Am I crazy?
It is a Core XY.
He's saying he prefers the Core XY way of doing it, like the Hevo Rail Core.
I can understand that.
I don't understand, I guess. I need to look up a picture or something so I can see what he's talking about. Because I thought that's how pretty much every Core XY was set up. I would consider that for a Core XY. Maybe I'm inexperienced or something.
So this is just bent sheet metal. That's what it is. Where's my toolkit? So I'm going to pop this out. So continue the subject on what we are talking about, and I'll somewhat work on this in the background. So everything we reference is always from All3DP. And so there are 3D printed Gundam's best created models. Now, these are all that are 3D printed, which is awesome.
I missed out on the Gundam thing, man.
Really?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know if maybe I'm just too young. Like, I remember Gundams, but I don't remember ever being like super into them. I think it was just because I have two older brothers and an older sister, and so they were the ones that were always in charge of the TV. You know what I mean?
Oh, I understand that.
But maybe I just missed out. I remember Gundam being a thing, but I just remember it was. I remember Power Rangers being like Gundam. That's all I remember.
I understand. So there's a bunch of different things out there that are 3D.
I like the stencil thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a little base for your. If you get a Gundam, you get a little base there for them, which is pretty cool. That one's pretty cool. It's got the fist coming off flying.
Oh yeah. I like that.
I like that a lot.
I like that actually. That's cool.
Little mini Gundam there. Now the thing is, you can really see on the printing for it.
Ooh, right here.
All right, and that is those ones there. Now here is the piece de resistance. So Anycubic is to launch the Photon Zero SLA printer
I don't know how I feel about this, Aaron.
for $169.
$170.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's cheaper. That's cheaper than NA3.
This is true. The downside to resin is the toxicity, that you don't want that to get on you or anybody. So
yeah, see, that stresses me out. I got 3 kids. You know what I mean?
I know.
I got one that does everything with me. I got one that gets into everything, and I got one that can't even crawl. But
Yep.
one day she will.
Yeah, she'll be into everything eventually. So this is the inside of it. You get your screen up here that will let your light through. Then you get your UV LEDs down here. I mean, it's fairly clean on the inside right there. I mean, not a whole lot of wires. So whether they're going to have a bunch of different wires socked away, we'll kind of see how that's going to be. But they've got a rail system on it, though. They don't have the 2 rods on it. Obviously, you got your lead screw, but they have got an actual rail system for it. I'm kind of excited about that. And they got the power switch on the side, not on the back.
It looks nice, man.
So there, it looks like a USB slot there, and small little touch screen.
Ooh, Wellbot sliding into Eddie's DMs.
Let's see, and it gives you, look at that, 80 milliliters, 120 milliliters, and max. That's nice for people to not know where they should stop filling it at.
Oh man,
I like that. It lets you know how much you actually have in there.
Oh, look, they're advertising it on Apple Computer.
I know it. But it's not an Apple display because that's a Windows exit button.
Okay, so Jacob's asking how user-friendly it is. So resin printers are pretty cool, Jacob, because they can get to a lot finer detail than like the 3D printers that I have.
Yep.
But they're really not that complicated as far as having to use them, but they do require a little bit more effort than a regular like a 3D printer like I have, because you have to wash the prints off, because the resin itself is caustic. It can burn you, and it can kind of mess you up a little bit if you don't take care of it, if you don't clean it up properly. So you have to rinse it with like alcohol or something, and then you cure it with a UV light, and after that it's totally safe.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, you can use a UV light and just make yourself a little box with UV lights, or you can set it out in the sun.
I live in Arizona, dude. You just set it out in the sun, and it's cooked in 10 minutes, I tell you.
Oh yeah. So the build volume is 97 by 54 by 150, or those people like Calvin, 3.81 inches by 2.12 inches by 5.9 inches. So that's not too bad. Give you five, almost 6 inches tall.
6 inches tall, and you got almost 4 by 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty tiny, but
you can print miniatures on that. It's not like with. I mean, this is a smaller printer. This is more compact. Something like Chris was saying, that he needs something with the smaller build volume. This is a smaller build volume that you can have by your desk if you want it. I want it print and have it going right by me, because the fumes and stuff from it could probably make you sick. But
you know what though, I've actually seen quite a few reviews for resins that are pretty non-stinky. But I still just don't know, man.
So But the Anycubic has not launched yet. So they will be launching sometime this year, I'm thinking.
Hey, can you share my screen for just a second?
Give me just a moment. I will stop sharing mine.
I wanna ask Eddie about this. So he was talking about his he was talking about rail core, liking the rail core system better. So when I see something like this, it looks like it's got 4 linear rails, 2 on each side, and then it's got the lead screws to move it up and down. Is that what I'm seeing, or is there just these 2? You think? I can't really tell.
Some on the other side for that setup side for it.
Well, but see, look, if you look, it's got the 2 it's got the 2 lead screws over here, so it could potentially be floating out there. The rail core has 3 Z rails.
I think that one is.
So I mean,
that one's got it on the other side there.
I guess I can see 3 being a lot better than 2. But I guess what I'm thinking is, isn't it nice to have, even if it does have 3, to be able to adjust at the corners, because then you could have a flat plate, be able to adjust, and you wouldn't have to worry about it if it's slightly warped or something. You kind of tweak it a little bit by straightening it up. I don't know. I was trying to figure out what kind of plane you were talking about when you were talking about the rail core. Oh yeah, see this is a better view of what it looks like, Aaron, right here. So it's got the 2 on the back, and then it's got the 3rd over straight across from it.
Yeah.
I
so
get it.
Kind of give it a better level. Give you that kind of that 3-point leveling system.
It takes 3 points to form a plane, right?
Yep. See, my TD Tech has the rail system like this one does here, but its print volume is much smaller than this one. The heated bed that they give you on that, I mean, that thing's got to be like 6 millimeters thick itself. So,
well, yeah. What? So, but when you level dirt, you're using those 3 points, but you don't have to worry about the dirt being bent.
This is true.
So that's only my concern, is if it gets bent on the corners.
So yeah, they've got it
one on each side. Yeah.
Yeah. So the rail core, they've got them to where they've got this kind of sturdy base to hold everything, but then you've got you're leveling your actual bed part separately from that. So you can do either, they're more likely a 3-point bed level instead of the 4-point like this one is.
Yeah, well, when you've got a nice solid thick bed, you don't really have to worry too much about it being slightly bent. Yeah, that's true. It is expensive for a reason, but I'm also poor for a reason.
Yep.
I went into a profession that does not pay well. But I tell you what, if YouTube would, I'm not even asking to get monetized again. I just want the money that I made when I was monetized. I didn't quite you have to reach a threshold of $100. If you don't reach $100, they won't pay out. And so I got some money that's just sitting in an account that I can't even touch because it's not $100 yet. It's kind of annoying.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I'm not even asking to get monetized. YouTube, if you're watching this, I'm not asking to get monetized again. I just want my $21. That's all I'm saying, man. All right, should I show off my cool prints?
Yes.
So these are actually, if I didn't do well financially, I would totally just have you go there already. Yeah. So this is actually my wife's cool prints. I'll sponsor you. Sure. Thanks, Jacob. So this is actually my wife's cool print. So really interesting. I've been printing all these llama coins and stuff, and my wife just sends me this random picture on my phone. She's like, "Hey, you think we can print this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so she's actually getting into 3D printing. So she's like learning how to slice the models, and she'll call me, "What are the settings that I need for this filament or whatever?" And she's been changing filament and stuff, and she has been she's been printing out some Valentines for my son's kindergarten. I don't know if I can. We're doing a.
Is that 3D printing professor?
Yeah, his low poly dinos, dude.
I recognize those things anywhere.
Yeah, they look sweet, and she's been printing a bunch of these low poly dinos. They're coming out really nice, and then we're gonna print up these little cards that they attach to, and they say thanks for being my friendosaurus. So Isabella's mother just calls me a nerd. But you know, my wife calls me a nerd too. But I'll sponsor all of you at first. It pays nothing, but I don't see why we can't double that in time.
I'll take that, Jacob. I'll take that.
I'll tell you what, I'll pay you 3 times what Jacob's paying me.
3 times nothing is still nothing.
Hey, I learned that, and I remember being in 1st grade and being like, I know multiplication, and all the kids be like, you don't know I know multiplication. Anything times 0 is 0. Yeah. And I thought I was all smart when I found out that anything times 1 was itself. I was like, yeah. No, my wife calls me a nerd too, but she's a little bit more supportive of me being a nerd, which I'm happy with. Very happy with it.
Had to run and grab a screwdriver, and then I forgot this was tucked into my pocket, and then my mic flew. All
right. There are probably people that don't get that. I'm wondering if I'm one of them because I don't get what that means.
Don't get what?
I don't know. They don't get that it's cool to be a nerd. I'm all about that hashtag nerd life.
Oh, it is awesome being a nerd. I honestly do not care what people think about me being a nerd. I am all for it. My wife knows that I am a nerd, and it was funny. She always says, "You hid your geekiness."
Oh, the double of nothing. He's saying there are probably people that don't get that the double of nothing is still nothing.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, because if you add nothing to nothing, you still have nothing.
Oh, I don't know how to do superscript in chat.
What's that?
I want to do superscript in chat, and I can't figure out how to do it.
What's superscript?
Like 2 squared, the little.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? The little mini number up on the top.
Yes.
I was gonna type in hashtag nerd 2 squared life. You know.
No, it won't let you.
But
Uh, so yeah, this goes back to right here on kind of what it takes to be a maker is using what you have to do what you can.
oh yeah, you
I mean,
know,
look at this. I mean, yes, I got this printer from wonderful Eddie Moser, and I've been working on it.
I look at something like that, and it brings me back to when I first got my very first printer, which was an ANET A8. And I was one of those that was in all the Facebook groups trying to figure out what on earth I was doing. And everyone's telling me to do all these fancy steps. And I'm like, there was a time that I almost quit doing 3D printing because I'm sitting there I'm trying to get stuff to stick to the painter's tape when I first started. I'm like, nothing will stick. How do I get it to stick to the painter's tape? And really, it was just that I didn't have my bed leveled properly. But as is like 99% of problems on Facebook groups, anyways. But I didn't have my bed leveled properly. Couldn't figure out how to get the stinking prints to stick. And I had all kinds of people telling me you need to calibrate your e-steps and you need to do some PID tuning and stuff. And I'm like, I don't understand what any of that crap is. And I stopped printing for a couple months after I got my printer because I was just so frustrated with how complicated everything had to be. And then once I realized that all I had to do was just level my bed properly, I was like, oh, just throw a little bit of glue stick on there, and it actually worked. But you know, I see that printer, and I feel like if you are not willing to spend time fixing a 3D printer, you probably should not own a 3D printer.
This is correct.
Yeah, if you've got to be willing to put in the time and effort. If you need to call someone to fix your 3D printer every time it breaks, or every time you got to replace a nozzle, or every time you have something get stuck, whatever, you probably shouldn't own a 3D printer. If you're not willing to take that step and make that sacrifice to try and get it to work, 3D printing is probably not for you.
I agree with that. It takes initiative and pure determination to do 3D printing, and also a lot of patience.
You know, I haven't been a maker my whole life, though. I wouldn't say. I remember growing up, like, my dad was not a very handy guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my dad. Great dad. Taught me lots and lots and lots. You know, I absolutely love him. But, you know, when I was a kid, my dad was not one to go and fix the car himself. My dad was not one to take me out into the garage and teach me how to build stuff. My dad had a few power tools, and he did a little bit of woodworking, but he did a lot of woodworking and stuff before I was born. But you know, I'm number 4 of 5 kids, and he got to the point where he was just too busy between work and taking care of us to do that kind of stuff. And so I grew up not knowing really how to do a lot of things. And so it wasn't until I was maybe 17. I was trying to impress the ladies, and so I started to learn how to do stuff. You know, I thought it was cool to, hey, you know what, whatever motivation you need, right? So
Exactly.
I was trying to impress the ladies, and so I had some friends show me how to change the oil in their car. I learned how to change a tire. Like, I didn't know any of that stuff until I was, you know, almost gonna graduate from high school. But
yeah, I was complete opposite of that. My dad has been a mechanic my entire life, so he's always fixed stuff. He actually, at one point in time, had his own mechanic shop. Um, so he's always fixing stuff, and I was always taking things apart and working on things and trying to make some stuff. So mine was definitely completely opposite of that. And my dad would do woodworking, and we actually, the house we lived at, we added on to it. So we built the addition to it. So we did the all the forms and stuff for the foundation around and the walls, just all of that. Mix the concrete up to pour into the bricks. You know, cut the rebar, tie the rebar together. And it was a lot of work, but it was fun. So doing some plumbing as well.
Cosmic Dumpster. I think you're talking about what he's working on in the background. He's working on a 3D printer. It's not even that detailed, a 3D printer, but it's a big one. No, Eddie, don't get me wrong. Eddie, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not trying to say that all 3D printers require tons and tons and tons of work. I'm saying that when you first get a 3D printer, especially, like you've got to kind of learn how that thing works and functions and operates. And to a lot of people that don't understand anything about 3D printing, something as easy as swapping a nozzle is really, really difficult. Somebody like me when I was younger, just trying to change the nozzle on a 3D printer, the steps that I go through to change the nozzle on my Ender 3, I mean, to me now, they're not that complicated. To me a year ago, man, I was so frustrated trying to get it to work. You gotta take the old nozzle out, you gotta pull the PTFE tubing, you gotta clear out the cold end to make sure that there's no melted filament or whatever getting in the way. A lot of times you have to snip the end off of the PTFE tubing, and then you have to back out the coupling for the PTFE tubing. You put the nozzle all the way in and then back it out a quarter turn. Then you got to push the PTFE tubing as far in as you can possibly go with the coupling backed out a quarter turn. Then you have to tighten up the coupling and the nozzle at the exact same time to make sure it's seated properly. Like, to me now, it's really, really simple. But explaining this to me, you know, a year ago, it was like, man, this printer takes so much effort to fix.
Yeah. Now, I've got a friend that I got him into 3D printing. He got himself an Ender 3. And, I mean, him trying to figure out on how to print stuff. Like, he was given a print Arbot, and he was trying to.
Is that the same one that you got, or what?
Yeah, that's the print Arbot that I have. And so he gave it to me, since I can do better at fixing things. But I mean, he was trying to get it printing and stuff, and he just had a problem with it not printing. Well, the guy that gave him the printer and the filament, I'm pretty sure was ABS, because that sucked with a pain in the butt to get that filament out. I had to just kind of sit there and press and press and press and press and just kind of let it creep it out slowly. But now he can, you know, change his own nozzles on his printer and everything. And it's just, I mean, it takes some time.
Yeah.
And knowledge. If you don't have the patience to try and learn it, you're not going to understand how to use your 3D printer properly.
I think I probably would have a computer too, Cosmic Dumpster, if I'm being honest. Not that I do a ton of stuff, but I do some 3D modeling. I do video editing for my YouTube channel, or when I get time to. It's been a while since I've posted anything besides the AC show. But I probably would rather have a nicer computer than have a super fancy 3D printer. The printer that I have, it's plenty detailed for what I use it for. I would like to get a resin printer, and this $170 thing we were just looking at, I mean,
I'm tempted.
It makes me want it, but at the same time, I've learned in almost 10 years of marriage that before I buy anything, even if I can afford it, even if my wife tells me it's okay or whatever, before I can buy anything, I got to answer the question, do I have a place for it?
True.
And right now, I just don't have a place that I could put a fancy, even a small footprint resin printer. I just don't have a place that I feel like I could have one that's safe for my kids.
Well, 100% understand that. You don't want one that's just going to be accessible for kids when you're trying to keep that away from them.
I'm curious, Cosmic Dumpster, if you know who Joel, Joe, and Angus are. I'm also curious which Joe. Or did you mean the Joes? Shout it to me, Carol, for making extra money this Christmas for a toy for himself and use that money on his wife. Oh, yeah. Over the summer, over the winter, over Christmas break, I was making these little snowflakes. I was trying to save up to get one of those Christmas light display shows that you program it to go along with music and stuff. And I ended up spending that money on a nativity set for my wife because it was too expensive for me to afford on my own. So
it's understandable.
My wife loves it though. It's pretty cool though. I will say that it's a really nice looking nativity set. Maybe I'll be able to afford one of those light display shows by next year.
There you go.
Oh no! I almost broke a T-Rex. That would have been a bad day. Seems a little unfair. Cosmic Dumpster, what are you talking about?
Oh, he's probably talking about your.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just asking if you know who they are. I know multiple Joes. That's the thing. See, we're talking about Joel Telling, 3D printing nerd. We're talking about Angus Davison. How do you say his last name?
I don't know.
He's another YouTuber from Australia, and then Joe. I'm assuming he's talking about 3D Maker Noob, but he could also be talking about 3D printing professor Joe Larson. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of J people in the printing community.
There's a lot of Joes, man. So yes, Cosmic Dumpster. I know who he's talking about. I'm just asking if you know who he's talking about because I'm not sure if you follow a lot of the people in the 3D printing community. The people he's talking about are pretty popular in the 3D printing world. But if you don't follow the 3D printing community, you probably wouldn't know who they were. It wasn't a slight towards you, man. I was just saying I'm curious if you know who they are because he's saying he gets references from them, and I wasn't sure if you would even know who they were just because I didn't think that you really followed people that closely in that community. So no, I wasn't trying to offend you or anything, man. I was just saying because I know that you're a fan of the show because I was your teacher, and so I just didn't know if you had followed them or
not. So I'll give you all a teaser. Within the next 2 weeks, we will be having a certain Aloha, my friends, on the show.
Really?
Yes. He couldn't make it tonight because he was driving up yesterday morning, actually Thursday morning, to go to CES. So those of you in the maker community for 3D printing know who I'm talking about. Hint, has the same name as this guy. First name.
You know, So if you guys don't know much about the show, so Aaron is a really good people person. He's really good at talking to people and asking them to come on the show and stuff. He's really, really good at it. So he's able to get kind of some big names to come and appear on the show. And I think because a few weeks ago I kind of bailed on the show by accident, falling asleep. He's purposely scheduling people on weeks that it's on his channel and not on mine because he feels like I'm gonna drop the ball again.
Well, see, I can schedule it for your channel next week, possibly. I don't know, because I'm thinking within the next 2 weeks to try to get him to come on. So he's at CES, so I'm not going to bug him on seeing if it's next week he can be on, or the week after that, or the week after that. So between 2 to 3 weeks, hopefully we'll have him on. And Eddie, whenever you get your OCD set up for getting your computer set up with your camera, we'll get you on the show. Because when I was hanging out with Eddie a couple weeks back, I said we need to get him on the show. We want him on the show. He says he doesn't have his camera set up, and on his computer there's all this, that, and the other, and that his OCD just won't let this. Just using his phone. I told him, well, you can use your phone. You don't have to, be on the computer. You can just use your phone and talk. So we'll see if we can convince Eddie to come on. Also, I know you're going out to Seattle some point in time this month, right?
Eddie?
Yep.
I'm going to Miami tomorrow.
Nice. Why?
That's where my robotics training is for that NASA thing.
Wow.
Yeah, Miami, Arizona.
Ah.
It's out in the middle of the desert, about an hour and a half from my house. the last time that I told a Yo Mama joke, I was in school, and there was these kids that just would not stop with the Yo Mama jokes. We're trying to get class going, and the kids are just going off and going off and going off. And this one kid is at the Miami side. This one kid, he's like, man, your mama's so dumb. She put 2 quarters in her ears and said she was listening to 50 Cent. And I looked at him and I said, at least my mama has 2 quarters. And he was like, oh, I don't know what to say to that. That was the last time I ever told a Yo Mama joke, but that's the last time a Yo Mama joke was told in my class too, so it kind of worked out.
That is hilarious. I can't even remember the last time I even said a Yo Mama joke. I was under 17. I was under 17, so I think I'm maybe 15 or under.
I just copied the Weird Al Yankovic song anytime somebody asks me for a Yo Mama joke. Or I like Yo Mama's so fat, when she got lost, she took up all 4 sides of the milk carton.
Yo Mama's so fat that she... Oh, this forever since I told this one. Your mom's so fat that when she walks, there's a walk one. There's a gravity. She's got her own. Oh crap! It's been forever. It's been way too long.
Aaron, you are not good at this.
Let's see. It's been over 15 years. It's been getting closer to 20 years since I've told a Yo Mama joke. So.
What's that? Let's see. Yo Mama's so fat, her shadow weighs 42 pounds. Oh man.
There we go.
Oh, I had to monitor Eddie's comment. He told a Yo Mama joke in the chat, and it was all this message being held for review, and it wasn't even a bad one. That's a good one. Your mom's so fat, when she wears a raincoat, people think the bus is coming. My brother.
I'm waiting to see Eddie's Yo Mama joke pop up. Because I'm
It's there. It's on there.
Okay.
It's right there. My brothers. Yo mama's so fat. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because she'd eat that too. That's funny. I bet your mom is a very nice lady and raised you well. She is, and she did. Thanks, Cosmic Dumpster. And I know your mom too. She's nice too.
So I guess we're gonna try to bring the Yo Mama jokes back. I remember there was this. It's on MTV.
Hmm.
There was they did the Yo Mama's so fat, it was an actual show. They did it on MTV. Kid you not, they would just do Yo Mama jokes.
Oh man.
It was so funny that all these jokes that are out there. I mean, so many, and they were saying Yo Mama's so fat. Just everything. So,
yeah.
Let's see.
Dude, how did you get your little emblem to show up in the bottom corner of the screen on YouTube?
One second. I put it up there.
How? No, is that just like a feature when you make this?
Yeah, it's a things and settings. And actually, I was trying to get my emblem that I created up there. That's
we need thick thon, man. We need thick thon. I need to print your maker coin. I really do, man. Every show I think about your maker coin, I just think, man, I need to print that thing. It's so funny.
Yes, I need. There's so many things I need to print. It's not funny. But yeah.
Yeah, you know what, Cosmic Dumpster? It's cool. It's cool to remember that we're all young at heart, man. I mean, no harm, no foul, because we're not actually telling the Yo Mama joke to a specific person. We're just throwing it out there blank. And it's not like we're doing any racist jokes or anything. We're just doing just good, clean fun, right?
That's the whole point of the Yo Mama jokes, is they were just good, clean fun that you would say to your friends and be like, Yo Mama's so fat that when she walks, she makes the earthquake.
That was a good try, Aaron. That was a good try. You're getting better. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man.
But that's just how it was. I mean, growing up, we would just hang out and do that. We'd hang out, do different things, and then sometimes you get a group of people, and one would go, Yo Mama's so fat. And then everyone would just kind of go off and just see how far you can go on it. But
Cosmic Dumpster, don't worry, my IQ is probably my age.
but people get so offended these days that some people will be offended by Yo Mama jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very disappointing because they are hilarious.
I feel like I can't hardly say anything though anymore in the classroom. You get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
I got a 62% on my science pretest taking tests out of the class. That sounds just like last year. I taught Cosmic Dumpster in class last year in science, and it seems like I remember him scoring pretty high on the pretest then too.
Oh, there you go.
So that doesn't surprise me at all, man. Science is something he's really good at. I'm conflicted on. I used to be all for testing out of classes, but now I'm conflicted. Because for me that was a big part of the experience. I didn't learn. I really feel like I didn't learn that much in school. I learned just like from life. But being in school was fun. Getting to make friends and talk to people and stuff. Like that's why I took the class. I didn't take the classes to learn stuff. I took the classes so I could hang out with my friends and meet new people. So get this. One of the requirements to graduate at my school. So I moved around a few times when I was a kid because my dad worked for the state prison, and so I moved around a little bit. And I moved my senior year of high school, like right before my senior year, over the summer between junior and senior year. And so I'm sitting there trying to figure out what I'm going to do. At the old school that I was at, it wasn't a requirement to graduate to take driver's ed. But at the school that I moved to, it was a requirement to take driver's ed to graduate. So there's all these freshmen taking driver's ed, and here I am as a senior. I've had my driver's license for 2 years, and I got to take stinking driver's ed to graduate. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing. Like, can I just test out of this?
That's funny.
But
that is funny.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? That was one of the most enjoyable classes. Man, I got some stories. If I didn't think that the stories that I would tell would get to some people, like I tell some. I'm gonna have to tell you stories privately when we're not streaming, because man, I got some good stories from that class. It was funny.
I was gonna say it's not like I'm gonna get demonetized.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about people in my community here, and I don't want to be picking on people in my community, and shouting it out to everybody. But there was some funny stuff happening. I get that. A lot of people did that too.
That's because you are a nerd, Eddie. That is why.
Hashtag nerd for life.
Yes.
I have a lot of students that are really good readers too. But like I say, it's like I was saying, school to me was for more than just learning, because I was always a smart kid, and I didn't learn anything. I didn't really learn anything that valuable in school myself, honestly, because I drove around after practice. I didn't feel like I learned really anything useful when I was in school, really, but it was a lot of the people that I met that I grew to know and care about and stuff, and it taught me a lot about like how to communicate and talk to other people. Not that I'm good at it, but better than I would have been, I think.
See, I'm better on my communication with people than I used to be a couple years ago because of actual YouTube. I've always been a very shy introvert person.
I think that this show has helped you. Like, you've come out of your shell a lot since we started doing this show, I think.
Yeah, and it was hard. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to make the videos. It's not like I care about people judging on what they say and stuff. People are angry, and they are going to be that way, and they're going to try to make you feel bad because they are not happy with their life. And I feel sorry for those people that are not happy with their life and that are trying to make me feel bad, or you. So, I mean, some things still kind of hurt. I mean, you wouldn't be human if you were not affected by some of the stuff people say. I mean, look at Barnacle. Barnacles gets affected by what people say, and he doesn't care for the most part. But it hurts. It hurts us. I mean, it's sticks and stones might break my bones, but your words will never hurt me. Well, they sting. They can sting. People will try to downgrade you, but
it's funny because I tell that to my son, and I know that I shouldn't, because I don't personally like that saying, but I tell it to him because I don't know a better way to describe it. I try and teach him. Somebody says something mean to you, it's just words, man. It's not gonna hurt you in the long run. You just got to be mentally tough and overcome it. And so I try and teach him that, but at the same time, sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I mean, words hurt.
Yeah, they don't physically hurt, but yeah, they can
They can cause some serious damage just because words don't hurt. This is it. This is what it is, honestly. Just because words shouldn't hurt you doesn't mean that you can say words to try to hurt someone, you know?
Yeah.
But that's my biggest concern is I don't want my kids growing up thinking that they can say things to purposely cut down on others.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I try not to be negative as possible, and I try not to say certain things to certain people. Like I shared with you a comment that I had gotten on one of my YouTube videos. Remember that?
You shared it with me, and I don't know. I wasn't as upset by it as you.
The person got pissed off. Like they actually replied, and like the reply. They actually, I think, deleted the reply or something because I couldn't actually see it. But it said, "Oh, after that, blah, 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 you took this down," and there's more. I was trying to click in to read it, and it just was gone. So
some people get pretty upset over stuff, man. I don't know why.
This is the comment.
Oh yeah, we're never gonna be able to read that.
So
not in a million years. You should just use the little pen to black out the picture and the name and post it on Twitter or something so we can see what you're talking about.
So it says, so far after
Minecraft is only $26.
Cosmic
Dumpster, you telling me you want me to stream Minecraft or what?
What's that?
So, no, Cosmic Dumpster is saying Minecraft is only $26. You should keep that in mind. Are you telling me you want me to stream Minecraft, man? That's all those little 10-year-olds. Oh man, all those little 10-year-olds that just got demonetized, huh? Because of the whole COPA thing.
They're yeah, they're not 13, so that's the thing. I mean, you're not 13, you're on this.
Hey, so I got a question. Like, what about these video game streamers and stuff on YouTube? I mean, it's a video game, and the video game was intended for kids, but they have a lot of adult language. So is YouTube gonna make theirs get and then doing that in and of itself, doesn't that promote those videos to kids? Just having a kids section, doesn't that promote videos towards kids? Isn't that exactly the opposite of what they're wanting to do?
Kind of.
Dude, we went off on a tangent. We did Cool Prince like 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, that was almost at the beginning of it. I mean, this is my Cool Print.
Cosmic Dumpster. Strengthening your resistance to insults is more challenging than you think. Because after all, you telling the person to get better or words themselves, your help could be brushed off too. No, I totally get that, man. I mean, I wasn't always this calm, cool, collected, amazing person I am now. I used to be a huge nerd. If you can believe it. No, I was picked on and messed with and bullied my entire time in school up until I became a senior in high school. And it's only because I moved to where I live now that bullying and stuff went away. I mean, I grew up with that. I mean, I remember multiple times going to get on my bike to ride home from school and not being able to get on it because the bullies had taken and wrapped my tire around the what do you call those things that you lock your bike up to, whatever. They actually physically took and they started slamming the tire against the side of it until it actually wrapped the whole rim and everything around the bar. So I mean, I could get my bike off, but it wouldn't roll, and so I had to I ended up picking up my bike and carrying it home. And the worst part was they were picking on me, but because my little brother rode his bike to school too with me, they would destroy both of our bikes. And so it just, it got to be a really big deal. I was bullied my entire life, man. So I get it, but at the same time, I feel like now because of that, I don't know, maybe I'm not so great with keeping other people's feelings in mind, because I feel like you need to have some sort of mental toughness. But I feel like I'm mentally pretty tough. People pick on me, talk about me, talk crap about me, whatever, and I just kind of shrug it off because I'm gonna be me, whether people like it or not. That's just who I am.
Yeah, Cosmic Dumpster. Kappa doesn't suck. It's not Kappa's fault on it. It's actually YouTube's fault on everything. Kappa is there to try to protect the children, and YouTube was pretty much giving them the middle finger until they got this big old fine, and then YouTube's been giving all the content creators the middle finger. That is what it comes down to, because they did not want to work along with the Kappa guidelines.
I don't see really any way to resolve it the way that the content creators want it to be resolved, though, honestly. I don't see really any way to resolve it the way that they're wanting to resolve it, because the whole thing is you can't target ads towards kids. Like that's the big thing. You can't do that. And I'm totally all for that. And so for me, it's like, I think that people need to stop seeing YouTube as a career choice. Like,
that is the problem. Back in the day, everyone's like, "Oh, all right, YouTube, I can get paid for this."
Yeah, I think people just need to stop seeing YouTube as a career choice.
As it's not.
You can be on YouTube and you can get sponsored to make videos and stuff like that, but you are not a professional YouTuber. You're a professional, I don't know, I guess what you'd call it. People sponsor you to do those things. You're not getting paid by YouTube. YouTube should not be your employer, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. You would be marketing. You would do kind of a marketing.
Yeah, see, like you're a marketing manager or consultant. You're a marketing consultant, kind of stuff like that, That's
So you're pretty much like marketing consultant, sales representative, kind of in one, with a couple of different other titles tossed in there. But so it's marketing and sales, because you're marketing a product that company that you're marketing for wants to have sales for. So that's why they're sponsoring you. So you're doing that. But yeah, I don't run ads, commercials in any of my actual videos. Have you ever noticed that, Chris? All my videos, I've never.
Because you're not monetized, you can't run ads, can you?
I could have it run ads.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't have ads on mine, do I?
But I specifically on the ad option chose no, don't put ads on my show, because
this message brought to you by. Just kidding.
my outlook on that is, why would I need to do this? I don't need to get that ad revenue from all the commercials that's going to be running. And as you said, you've got $20 sitting there that you can't touch. So
yeah, this is a recent development for me. Back in the day, a couple of years ago, I was all about, oh yeah, I'm gonna make money on YouTube. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get monetized, whatever. But like, that was when I was young and stupid 2 years ago. Now that I know what I'm doing and I kind of understand the world a little bit better.
Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm more intelligent.
I'm telling you, once I hit 30, dude. Once I hit 30, it was just like, I don't care anymore. I'm not looking to get huge and famous and stuff on YouTube. Like, I don't care.
Oh yeah, and that's why I was like, I've got 215 subscribers right now. I'm fine with that. I mean, if it gets higher, it gets higher. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, I do the videos I do for me and to try to help anyone that wants to learn something. That's what I do.
Now you're making me go look and see how many subscribers I have. I gotta know.
235, is it? 32.
Ooh, 240.
40. Oh, wow, there you go. Because you were on 200. You were in 230 something last I had known.
Last time I remember, it was like 236. I feel like you're gonna catch me though, Aaron. I'm gonna be so
always say that. You always say that. You always say that.
Because, dude, so like, listen, like a year ago, I was sitting at like 180 subscribers, and you're sitting at like less than 100.
Oh yeah, way less.
And now you're at like 215, and I'm at 240. You're only like 25 subscribers behind me. You're gonna catch me in like a week, and then it's like you're never gonna look back. You're gonna be too big for me. But I feel a few more. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. YouTube did an oopsie, but the way COPPA is running the whole thing is a little off. I understand the whole child safety, but I feel a few more variables aren't being taken into consideration. Yeah, I agree with that. I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, like, I don't know. It's a little freaky to think about, like, when when my kid is on my phone watching a YouTube video, or he's on the Roku TV watching a YouTube video, and he's getting these ads that are targeted towards him, and he's 6 years old, and they're already, you know, he's getting these videos and ads and stuff that are targeted towards him, and it's like, the one thing that really bothers me about the whole situation, because I fully planned on just saying that all my videos are kid friendly, because I don't swear, I don't drink, I don't ever do anything on camera that would be inappropriate for a kid to see. It's not intended for kids, but
Yes.
I could care less about the monetization, and in fact, people would enjoy my content better because it wouldn't have to suffer through the ads.
Yeah, you want family friendly, but you don't want it to be towards kids.
The one thing that I'm most upset about, though, is the fact that if you make your video and you say that it is kid friendly, it disables the comments.
Yep.
And it's like, I appreciate those comments. You know what I mean? People asking me questions about how to make Rube Goldberg machines, or asking me about where I get my ideas from and stuff like that. I really like that kind of stuff. And so to have the comments disabled is a little frustrating, because yeah, it's kid friendly, but I didn't make that video for kids to watch. I mean, if kids watch it, though, they're welcome to. And a lot of times I have like teenagers and stuff that they're watching my videos because they're doing a Rube Goldberg machine project in school, and they want help with it, or they have questions about it or whatever. And so they're looking at my videos to get ideas, and if they want to ask me a question, I feel like they should be able to. Maybe I just need to post in my video descriptions, if you have questions, you can contact me through social media platforms like Twitter or whatever. I mean, not that I want
Twitter,
14-year-old kids contacting me or whatever, but I just don't think that they should be discouraged from their creativity because they see in their opinion at the time, they see an expert at something that they're trying to accomplish, and they're not allowed to contact that expert. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself an expert on Rube Goldberg machines or 3D printing or whatever, but if somebody got their very first 3D printer for Christmas and they wanted some help with it, I probably know a heck of a lot more than they do. Or if they're doing a project in school, I probably know a lot more than they do. I've made, I was counting it up the other day. I've made somewhere in the realm of, oh man, I think that I've made somewhere in the realm of almost 100 Rube Goldberg machines now.
Wow.
I've filmed all of them, but I've got tons of Rube Goldberg machines just posted.
That's crazy.
I'm just mad about the whole situation that stemmed from one guy, because I just got monetized like a week before they decided to screw everyone over. Well, I'm right here with you, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I was monetized for like 2 weeks. My ad revenue was like $20, and then they demonetized my channel, and now I got $20 sitting in the account I can't touch. That's another thing. A thing COPPA is overlooking is that it isn't YouTube's fault, in my opinion. YouTube created an entirely separate app for kids. YouTube isn't to blame, I think. But what content gets put on the YouTube Kids app? That's the thing. And how do you incentivize creators to make content for the YouTube Kids app? Hey, we want you to make some content and not get paid for it. Is that cool?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
It makes
I mean,
it
I
makes
make
it
content and don't get paid for it because I think it's fun to do, but you're not going to get professional, high quality content out there and have them be like, oh, I can't receive any compensation whatsoever. Oh, nice. Love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a problem with that. So, some point in time, I'm going to be going up to KC. The wife and the youngling will join me. And I've got a message to people. But there's this company that makes nozzles up in Kansas City. Hot end now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like brass nozzles or stainless steel or all of the
You know,
above?
like hot ends, like complete hot ends
Hmm.
for your printers. Go check out Practical Printing. He's posted it on his Twitter. And I said that I commented and said I need to come up there and check them out sometimes. And he said, "Oh, well, shoot us a message at this, and we'll set something up." So
where is Practical Printing based out of? Because I thought he lived in Anaheim.
I think it is. Well, he's in California. I know that.
I think he's somewhere up in Anaheim, but I keep getting the Hawaii vibes from him, and
I
then
know. I thought it was
he's
in
always
Hawaii.
talking about how he's traveled somewhere and gone someplace, and I'm like, does he live there now?
Yeah, the beginning, whenever I first kind of started watching him, he's like, "Aloha." I was just like, "Oh, so he's a maker in Hawaii. Cool. That's cool."
Eddie Moser in San Diego.
Okay. So yeah. I'm surprised, Eddie, that you did not comment at all on that COPPA stuff.
He probably had to take a pee break. He want to watch it.
So,
well, if we got some stuff where we got to go through, Aaron, then we got to kind of start getting moving on.
We are done. We just kind of went down a little rabbit hole there. So
yeah, sorry, man.
It's okay. All right. Well, everybody, we greatly appreciate you joining us. Says it's at 7 right now. So if Chris has got his going, we're at 6 viewers. So let's. Yeah. See. Yep. COPPA needs to exist. I agree, Eddie.
It does. Yeah. No, I agree.
But Chris and I greatly appreciate you joining us. Eddie, we greatly appreciate you popping on here and tuning in. We'll be in contact, Eddie, that we're going to try to get some time set up for you to join us on the AC show. We'd love to have you on. So, and I know we talked about it whenever we hung out a few weeks ago. So we'll definitely try to schedule a time that will work for you.
Yeah, Eddie, we need to get you on the show, man.
So, but we greatly appreciate you guys. If you are not already following, check out Wellbot. He's got out some pretty cool tutorials right now. He's got how to make Pikachu in Fusion 360, and then he put out another one on how to do a my brain's dead on that. Not a circuit board. I'm sorry, Wellbot. I can't even think of what it was. Oh, let me look. Go back. Subscribe.
I miss Wellbot's face. We had him on the show a few weeks ago.
Yes, we did. There we go. Wellbot. And making a PCB housing in Fusion 360 tutorial.
PCB housing.
Yeah, so check him out. he is a good friend of ours, and check out everyone we've had on. So just go back and forth from our channels and check out all the people we've got. Jimmy Shaw's on there. Yeah, PCB Housing. Yep. So I started watching part of that, and I've been so busy. I started watching part of your Pikachu tutorial thing, but I've got this I've been trying to work on and a bunch of other things. So I've been trying to get to where I can actually take time to watch all your videos and actually go through and do that, since I asked you to if you could do that. So I greatly appreciate you, Wellbot. Like, beyond greatly appreciate you doing that, so I can learn how to do organic modeling in Fusion 360, and everybody else can.
Yeah, I need to figure that out too. I've modeled a few things, but it's a joke on the show. You guys know my modeling skills are pretty subpar.
But yeah, check out Jimmy. Check out, although
I'm getting better at
so many. Well, there you go. You get Print 3D channel. Check him out. He's been doing some stuff at CES. Him and Joel Telling were hanging out a little bit there. Check out Joel Telling, and
we need to get Joel on the show, man.
I'll get him on eventually.
We need to get him on the show on my channel.
So, I know. I know he's been busy, and I've not tried to hit him up. So, but yeah, so look out for our Aloha friend coming on in a couple of weeks or so, and Eddie Moser coming on at some point in time. And you know, I'm gonna try to get some different Joes and Joels and stuff on here, and maybe a couple other people from the land down under.
Yeah, we need to get Sean back on the show too. I need to apologize to him. I need to get in contact with him and just apologize, like, straight up. I feel so bad, man.
Yes. Joel is crazy busy.
Joel is crazy busy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Joel is just busy, always busy.
Every once in a while, he throws in a live stream, and what time does he do it? Right at this time.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it could happen.
So yeah.
Eddie, you got a discount code for time with Joel Telling? Eddie, we need to get you on the show sometime, man.
Yeah. Just message me, Eddie, and let me know on a week on a Thursday night that you will be able to join us. But we're going to end the show tonight, right now. Again, we greatly appreciate you guys. If you are not already, follow Chris. Not that I can share. Follow Wellbot. And I'm gonna have a list of people that we just constantly have down below that you should just go and check out and follow. I'm working on doing a list and just having it there for each show. But greatly appreciate you guys, and we're honored that you join us and that we get to do this. You know, so thank you everybody from the bottom of our hearts, and for those that we haven't said anything, Happy New Year to you guys. Hope your 2020 is going to be a fantastic year.
I hope that your vision of the future is clear. Hashtag 2020 vision.
So, all right, everybody. Happy making, happy printing. Take care.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Next week on his channel. Bye.
Peace.